Boom, coming in hot, shit.
Coming in hot.
Coming in, brother.
Coming in hot. We're doing well, just so everybody knows, we're doing Funbag Sunday. We're sorry we weren't here Friday, but it's for no.
Yeah, it's just been a little crazy, man. My dad had a stroke this week, and it's kind of, hey, obviously for anyone that's been a part of that, he had an open heart surgery 5 months ago, and it's just been a crazy week, man. So we're fitting it in on Sunday, and my dad's been in the ICU most of the week, and just if anyone out there listening, prayers I believe in prayer. Time. Prayers help. Please pray for my dad, Jim Casey, and that he pulls through this, and that the doctors can figure out what to do next.
Yeah, we're all praying hard. You folks at home, prayer is power. So go for it. We appreciate you on that. Okay. So anyway, but we're still grinding it out here. Case wants to do a show. That's why I'm really impressed by you, man. I love you for it. And so here's the thing. We're gonna kick things off on a positive note. Two dudes. This is the question of the year, I think, in baseball. You got Shohei Ohtani, both of him, and you have Aaron Judge. Okay, MVP, American League. It's a very tough thing to say. Let's start with Judge and his 49 homers, because that's, I think, where you're going to go with that, aren't you?
Yeah, well, 49 homers. And Greg Amsinger made a great point last night. I was on MLB Network, MLB Tonight with him, and we were talking about, I guess, that number 62 still should have allure to it and still should have significance because, when I guess, obviously Bonds and Sosa and McGuire all had kind of the PEDs, connected with them. So, and his point was, Ohtani's obviously doing what he's doing, but Judge is chasing 62. If he does get there, how do you not give him the MVP? And I guess what's tough, Chinch, is that because we have a unicorn.
Yes.
We've never seen this freaking white horse come in with a horn on the top, following a rainbow.
Yeah, I have to go to two different pages to look at his stats. I have to open up two pages on my websites to look at Shohei Ohtani's stats because they're two different people. He's a hitter.
It's incredible. And his ERA is what's his ERA, Chin? What are his numbers? Like 11-8 with like a 2.
11-8, 2.67 in 22 games started.
And how many dude? He's got like 170 punch outs.
176 punch outs in 128 innings, and his WHIP is 1.06. That's walks and hits.
And okay, now go to the other page. Tell me what his offensive stats.
Okay, how about 260, 118 hits and 450 at bats, 27 homers, 75 ribbies, and here's the specialist, the most unicorny part about him. 11 stolen bases, and he probably could steal more. I bet I actually want to go look and see if he steals bases when he's pitching. I would guess he probably wouldn't try to run as hard, but generally speaking, he probably could be a 30-30 guy. He could be a 40-40 guy if he just played offense.
I think he could be a 40-40 guy. And the other day, he had a triple. Well, he dominated the Blue Jays, 7 innings, 9 punchies. He won 2-0, but also had a triple, bro. He hit it in the gap, and he was on third like that.
He flies.
It was incredible.
It's unbelievable. Now, on the flip side, add one more thing, though. Judge plays defense, big-time defense. I think he's one of the best outfielders in the league. He made a catch at the wall the other night. He's playing center field, too, a lot of times. You know, that's right. You get a couple extra check marks on that for your MVP season. It is a... I don't know what to say. Well, I mean, is this one of those situations where you start bringing in what's the record, how good is your team, and all that kind of stuff? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I think that the game. Don't you think the game's starting to lean towards don't care if your team's in the postseason or not? I mean, I don't know. Like, you're looking at some of the Cy Youngs, and the way they look at numbers nowadays are so different. So if you're doing that, like Trout wouldn't have an MVP.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
If you're saying, he's not on a winning team. Well, dude, Mike Trout was the best player in the game. So,
give it to him.
He's not on a winning team, but it doesn't matter. The guys, the stats say differently. So I guess just the tough question is Judge is having such an unbelievable year. He's got right around 110 RBIs right now and, closing in on the end of August. But
14 stolen bases for him too, by the way. I got to give him credit.
Right. Like, so Judge is having an unbelievable year. It's just a great question but like I said, Ohtani, we've never seen anything like it. So it's like, are we gonna not appreciate what he's done because we're just gonna be like, oh, it's just Shohei Ohtani? No one's ever done what he's doing ever in the game. The histories of the game has ever done what he's doing. So let's not lose sight of what he's doing and how unbelievable he is. And I almost feel like you got to make a new award. No, seriously, like you either have to have the MVP of baseball, because how do you not give it to Ohtani?
Right.
Maybe the Hank Aaron Award is like the MVP of the hitter, right? Because and then the pitcher could be over here, but the MVP, the best player in baseball is Ohtani.
Yeah.
Judge is the best hitter. You know, Sandy Alcantara is the best pitcher.
Right.
And Ohtani's the best player.
Yes.
It could be something like that.
However, though, if you do invent that award, he's probably going to win it every year. It's
the Ohtani award.
He should just get his own award every year with his name on it. But one other pop for Judge, 295 batting average. You love that. You got to love that. 49 homers.
It just shows consistency.
It's crazy.
Dude, you know, when people talk about batting average, it doesn't matter. Bullshit. Goldschmidt 330, Judge 300. Like some of the best players in the game they're right around 300. They're sitting 280 or above. The best players in the game aren't hitting 220, dude. They're just not doing it.
They're not.
I don't care what your OPS is, all this stuff. Like the creme de la creme are hitting. You know, their average is still
and your power guy, right? You have 109 RBIs at this point in the season. Some of them aren't going to be from home runs. Like if he was hitting 264, I bet he'd have 82 RBIs by now, maybe even less. So it's a good question. You know what, folks who join up on our YouTube page and write things out, or if you get on our Apple Podcast or any kind of those podcasts where you can kind of talk to us, tell us your thoughts. Tell us who you think's going to be the MVP or should be the MVP, and we'll talk about it next week on the show. Right?
Perfect, man. Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Great. Now, sticking with baseball and sticking with the Yankees. This is goes into the category of weirdest injuries ever in sports. Aroldis Chapman tattoo hurt him. Got a tattoo, and he's hurt because of his tattoo.
He's infected. I guess his leg got infected. And,
clean your needles, man. Clean your needles.
Yeah, dude.
I got
Go
tattoos.
to a place that has better needles. Yeah, make sure you dip those things in. Light them on fire or something. They know your mom used to. You get a splinter. Like, Sean, you got a splinter in your foot. I'm like, and she's like lighting the needle on fire. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Mom? Is this some sort of magic trick? She's like, no, we got to disinfect the needle. So maybe the needles that are out there in San Fran or Oakland need to be disinfected.
Yeah, you got to clean it up. Literally clean it up.
It's funny, dude. Literally clean it up. It reminds me of a story, though, because everyone's like, oh, tattoo during the season. I remember going with our man, Danny Graves, in the Arizona. Gravy's all tattoo. You see a babyface assassin. You think this guy's just
he's tatted up like the Moana guy.
When he takes his shirt off, boom. He could have his own show. Like, what is that show
called? It's like The Rock.
Ink. Yeah, whatever.
Inked.
Yeah, he's
Miami Ink or whatever. Yeah,
Miami Ink. He could have Danny Graves Ink, dude. This freaking guy is tatted everywhere. And I went and got one of the coolest tattoos, bro. He got this sunshine on the back of his neck.
Really?
Pretty big too. And we were playing the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he's like, "Case, you want to go get a tattoo?" We had a day game, and I think we went after that. So yeah, I went with him, and we sat there. I can't remember. It was like me and Jason LaRue, I think, went and sat and watched Gravy get this tattoo. But it was pretty cool. But his didn't get infected. I think he closed the game out the next night. But so people are like, why is he getting a tattoo during the season? Like, I don't think that's the issue. I think it's
that reminded me of something actually that popped into my head of tattoo stories. When I started at ESPN, I was a kid, 21. I used to smoke heaters. Everybody knows that. Who knows me? I don't anymore.
Crush a couple of heaters,
yeah, crush a couple of heaters. So in between, your edits done, whatever, I would go outside, crush a heater. And Rob Dibble was at ESPN at the time. And there's one,
and he was crushing them with you.
Oh, he crushed
100%.
Oh my God, he probably crushed a pack. He crushed more heaters than most people back then. So, I'm standing out there one day and I'm smoking, and I didn't know him at the time. I was just started at ESPN. And I'm standing next to Rob Dibble, and he had his shirt. He had his sleeves up like this, and he's just standing there smoking a heater like that. And he showed me both of it. It was at least one of his arms. He had a huge. Remember, guys started getting those tribal, but they weren't really tribal. They were but with the what's the stuff where you can't jump over a fence? Like barbed wire.
Yeah.
And he's standing there, goes, "What do you think of my ink, dude?" And I was like, "Oh my God, it's Rob Dibble." And I'm like, "It's pretty awesome." He goes, "I use Howard Stern's guy." And I was like, oh, that's sick. And then, like, I've never forgotten. I'm like, I'm standing there smoking a heater with Rob Dibble talking about his Howard Stern guy tattoos. It was funny.
Well, just the fact that Howard Stern has tattoos, I didn't know that.
Tons, yeah. He's got artsy stuff.
I thought Stern would be a little wimpy. Like, he sounds a little wimpy. Like, get the needle. Like, woo. You know what I mean?
Well, he was bananas back in the day. It was probably back when he was, doing the Hank the Angry Drunk stuff and all that stuff. Rest in peace. All right. Now, more controversy. I have another controversy. There's another professional athlete who has missed some time already, and this is in the NFL. It's Tom Brady. Had personal things going on, and if he did, sure. But there's also a conspiracy theory that he missed the first part of training camp because he's appearing on the next edition of The Masked Singer.
Oh my God,
Which would
dude!
Be amazing. Talk about preferential treatment.
If that's true, I hope they paid him like $50 million to be on The Masked Singer, because it would kind of be cool. But it sounds like he missed it because of personal reasons.
I would think.
And dude, I was reading what he said. Dude, at the end of the day, he's 45.
Right.
He's got kids, a wife. You know what I mean? He's done everything he could do in the game. He wants to come back. I always think like Jim Leland used to say, listen, the rules aren't the same for everybody.
Yes, correct.
Ken Griffey Jr. wants to come, out and not stretch that day because he's going to go hit 2 bombs in the game. Mm-hmm. Those are rules for him. Joe Blow, rookie, you better be there on time. Yep. You better be ready to stretch. So I look at Tom Brady. I say, dude, you pick your rules. We know you're going to be ready. Your track record speaks for itself. The consistency and commitment you've had your whole career. If you want to be a couple weeks late or take 15 days off or 11 days off or whatever to go deal with personal matters, and if you want to go on vacation for 11 days during camp, do it. You're Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
We know when the bell comes on and when the red light comes on and we're ready to go and you cross those white lines, we know you're going to be the best quarterback in football.
Yeah. Plus, he has his own workout program. He has his own doctors. He has his own everything.
Dude, he's got that Alex Guerrero guy. He's probably doing some shit you've never seen before. Just contorting his body and stretching.
I remember back in the day, it was Florida State was in the national championship game. Bobby Bowden was still the coach of the team, and Sebastian Janikowski, biggest leg ever, was the kicker. I'll never forget this. I think it was when they were playing Michael Vick in Virginia Tech, but Janikowski missed curfew one night, and the rules for Florida State were if you miss curfew, you don't play in the next game. And so I'll never forget Bobby Bowden, the huge crowd of reporters thinking, oh, here we go, they're going to lose their secret weapon kicker. And Bobby Bowden's like, oh, he's playing? And they're like, but you have a rule. And he goes, yeah, I got a rule, but I want to win the game, and he's our best kicker, so he's playing. So maybe next year you might miss the first game, but I'm not worrying about that right now. And you're like, what are you going to say? He's the coach. You can do whatever he wants. So
that's what I mean, dude. Yeah, you got to also pick your spots too. And, you know what I mean, with stuff like that. So.
Totally. Anyway, all right. One last topic, also controversial. LIV Golf. This is an interesting one I want to talk to you about. Is you're a professional baseball player in a union. I don't think PGA is technically the same type of unionized thing that you are, but this will not. It's not stopping, and there's lawsuits all over the place. The PGA guys hate the LIV guys. The LIV guys are starting to hate the PGA guys. What's your take on the whole situation?
Well, hey man, competition, is good. If you got no competition, then you just got a monopoly, and you're like, hey, listen, PGAs they're a little nervous because LIV Golf's come in. And and they're stirring the pot, throwing money around, all that stuff. Well, what the top PGA guys get together, like Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods got together, and they said, "Listen, we got to start making this better. We got to figure out ways to get guys together and start making these events better." So it looks like the top PGA Tour golfers will commit to playing more events, 12 tournaments to have purses between 15 to 20 mil. Yeah. So basically, everyone's, all over the LIV Golf stuff. At the end of the day, it's making the PGA better because also those guys are going to, they said that the top players from the PGA Tour are committing to compete in at least 20 events starting next season. Because I think a big thing with the PGA is, okay, you're going to get the majors. They're going to be at all the majors, but sometimes you can't get them in those other events. Might have, a few of the top guys here, a few of the top guys there. Now they got 20 events where these guys are going to commit to being there, and the purses are going to be super high. So, hey, at the end of the day, you can say what you want about, LIV Golf and the Saudis and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, for the PGA,
Oh,
the
totally.
competition is going to make that product better.
Yeah, Tiger Woods.
Because they're stepping up.
Tiger Woods was offered, what they're saying is between $700 and $800 million to go play for LIV. And by the way, you need him in the PGA Tour, so they had to do this. It's a smart move.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I would almost take it further, and most purist golfer fans might not like this, but like Tiger and some of those guys, they should get like exemptions where they're going to like. Even if they don't qualify, they should be able to play on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because when Tiger misses a cut, your numbers
people go home. People go home.
People go home. Yeah, people go home. Like they're not going to stay.
And the Golf Network or NBC, whoever covers it, they're like
terrible for them.
They're like
it's like
terrible.
It's like having like a. Oh, I don't know. I was going to mention 2 teams in the Super Bowl, but then I would just be alienating 2 cities. But I won't.
Right.
But it's like everybody wants Dodgers, Yankees in the World Series. Not every fan, but every. Right. Stupid TV station, every company.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
The money is.
Yeah. Be good, and you'll get on TV more. So that's interesting.
Well, another thing I saw Rory McIlroy say something too. He said, "Listen," he goes, "There's a lot of good that's coming out of this too." I was trying to figure things out. He goes, "One thing we don't do well as golfers is get together. You know, we show up at the events, we might see each other. How's it going, Tiger? Blah blah blah." This is kind of forcing guys to get into the room, get to know each other a little more, take their brand, really hone in and say, how can we make this better?
Yeah.
And I think it's a great thing. And I don't know, dude. I'm a big wrestling fan, so I even go back to wrestling. Like WWE, WCW back in the day when WWE was just dominating, they got a little lackadaisical, right? Then WCW comes out, they get a little edgier, do their thing. Next thing you know, you go back to that WWE era, with D-Generation X, the Attitude Era, Stone Cold comes out of it, The Rock comes out of it, Mick Foley comes out of it. All of a sudden, you're like, the greatest generation of wrestling history happens because WCW actually became competition for WWE. WWE had to elevate their game. And it's just, like I said, healthy competition is good for everybody.
Absolutely.
It forces you to not be complacent. It forces you to get out of your comfort zone. And that's where your infinite potential relies, right, is beyond that comfort zone. Because if things just work and they work, well, then you don't ever have to take any shots. But if you are in a comfortable place and you realize the only way to get to where we really want to go is through that uncomfortable zone,
right.
Well, bam, all of a sudden you'll do it if there's competition sitting there saying, you don't want to do it? Well, we're going to do it. So I think it's a good thing for the PGA and that LIV Golf is here.
Yeah, no, totally. It's like, it's funny. I watch Shark Tank sometimes, which is always interesting. And a lot of the guys, the Cubans and them, they're always like, do you have a patent on this? Do you have a patent on this? Because they're like, how are you going to prove that your product, that somebody else that comes along that tries to copycat your product isn't going to make it better and destroy you? Like, it's the same concept. Right. Like, you got to keep progressing. It's like, working in television, for example, like every 3 or 4 years, you really do have to freshen up your studios, and you have to freshen up the music. Because, if you go down, the NBA on NBC, remember that? That's an 80s, but that's like an 80s, 90s sound, right? Yeah. Now it's, Flow Rider rocking out, because that's the generation we're in now with the music. Times have changed, all that. It's the same thing with any type of sport. Like, and it's why, baseball's made some changes to compete with the NFL and NBA as far as popularity and getting kids involved, because they had to advance to the next stages of where the environment of the fans that are watching the game are. And it's all part of business, man. It's
true, man. And you might even see, for baseball's sake, they just did a game in Charlotte with 2 minor league teams. MLB Network covered it, but it was a lot of different rules. Like, you could only pick over 3 times. The bases were bigger. They started to put in these things. And I asked Greg Amsinger, who called the game, I said, how was it? He goes, incredible. He was incredible. And like, it might be a way that baseball evolves to like, okay, the game's going to change a little bit, but it's going to be a better product, And I don't know. Obviously, I'm more of a purist when it comes to baseball, but I'm also let's not just let the times pass us too and go, well, baseball's not really relevant anymore because it didn't change with the times. So maybe there will be something that happens, with the play clock or whatever, that baseball does a few things here and there. It doesn't change the base of what the game is, but maybe a few things here or there makes the game better, makes it faster, makes it more interesting.
Home run derby, for example.
Exactly.
That's the guy. That's a move right there. And and you can. It's okay to fail too, because I remember Joe Torre remember the stupid rule at second base, and guys were being called safe because of they weren't holding onto the ball and they were doing a replay with it. And Torre was like, and because he was part of that rules committee, Torre was like, we messed it up. We're going to get rid of that rule. And they just got rid of it. They put it in there. It didn't work right. And so fine, you hit 300. You're getting hits 3 out of 10 times. If you hit a home run in one of those 3 times that you get your 3 hits, you're going to the Hall of Fame. So you got to take your swings. Take the swings.
Exactly. Swinging bat's a dangerous bat. And I love what you said there, Chinch, too. Failure is information. It's data. Mm-hmm. You know what? We sometimes look at failure as like, oh, I'm a failure. No, you're not. Failure is information. It's data. How do we do it better next time? How do we do it better? There's a book called The Culture Code that I'm reading right now by Dan Coyle. So good. And he says the best leaders are vulnerable. So like you just said, the best leaders say, like SEAL Team 6 says, hey, man, we messed that up. We got to be better next time. We got to do this differently, and we got to train for it. Now that we know, we got to train for it. So I love that, man. You got to take shots in life. You got to take shots. How do you know it works or doesn't if you don't take the shots? So for the people that say, oh, man, I just like it the way it is. Well, guess what? You're going to get passed by because the way it is it becomes stale. You got to take shots and find out what works and what doesn't. That's what I love about life, but I love that about sports too.
I love it too. Wait, what did we say? Yeah. Why are we doing this show today? Because we were debating on whether
it's okay to suck, not okay to skip.
There you go. Yeah, that's
I said we got to get something out there, Chance. Let's go.
Exactly. That's the mindset, right? That's where we got to go with this. Also, by the way, it's a 2-month anniversary. I saw this. Push the Tarp is still out there. Tim McMahon. He's it's been out on the market for 2 months.
Bro, Tim McMahon just went on our buddy Brian Johnson's podcast, which we have 1,000 followers. He has like 1 million, I think. Yeah. And also my buddy Brian Panuzzo, who we're going to have on here, who's an awesome dude, great life coach. Mm-hmm. He's out there in LA. He just had he's got a great following too. He's got a great podcast called The Success Lift.
Awesome.
And he just had T-Mac on there too. T-Mac said me, say, hey man, thanks to you and Chinch for having us on. I was like, hey, listen.
Yeah, where's those residual checks, brother?
Right. We don't want Jamie Lissow, too. When you become big time, we need to remember you came on the mayor's office, dude. Yeah. We need some cash.
Yes, and if you haven't listened to the Jamie Lissow show, it is freaking hysterical, man. He is one of the funniest dudes around. And all that stuff we were just talking about, just kind of mental mindset and stuff. Jamie was way into that, and I did not know that before that show. So that's cool. You guys,
man. Well, I think this is the one thing we all need to realize. All of us, if you pay attention, like the brain is plastic. It's no longer you can say that's just the way I am. That's just the way I think. Well, that's okay. You can do that if you want, but that's not true. The brain has neuroplasticity. That means it can change. Like neurons that fire together, wire together. So we have these circuits that we just say, well, that's just how my dad told me to do it, and that's just the way I was raised, and that's not true. So if you actually want to go in a different direction, you can do it. It takes a little bit of effort, it takes a little bit of thought, change your habits and all that stuff, but you can do it. And that's when Jamie Lissow, it was just cool to see him kind of say, hey man, after my divorce, I had to, change gears. I kind of feel that way too. When I got divorced, I feel like I had to change gears and, start creating some new boundaries or mindsets in my mind to, get to that next level. So, like I said, bro, failure is information and data. It's not. It's good stuff.
I like that. All right. By the way, before we go, speaking of information and data, have you and the Big Lambuski gotten together yet to prepare for your draft, or is he just preparing your draft for you?
Well, you know what? Over the years, the Big Lambuski, my man Boo, he's ready to go already. I talked to him this morning, and he's all excited about this week's show too. Mm-hmm. He's got some stuff lined up. I'm learning stuff from him just listening to him. Obviously, but yeah, we'll get together in a couple days here and iron out. Usually, I'm involved in those first 3 rounds. After that, I'm just a construction cone. I don't know what the hell's going on. So
that's where you make your money, man. That's where you win your leagues. That's what they all say.
Exactly, bro.
And Lambuski's shot out of a freaking cannon every time he starts talking about it. I actually texted him. I texted him the other day because I'm in a keeper league. And I looked at my roster, and there was this one player. I was like, I'm like, should I keep him? And Lambuski wrote me back a text message that I still haven't finished reading. It was like the Torah, bro. It was an entire scroll, and I was like,
Dude.
Okay, I guess I'm just not going to keep him then, but thanks for the advice. It was just unbelievable.
He's the best, dude. He said he can't sleep at night now. We've heard him sleep because all he does is think about what he's going to say on the Big Lambuski show, what he can get out to the fans.
So good.
I think this week's going to talk about sleeper picks, in late round sleeper picks.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, you know and I know, Chinch, you want to win your fantasy league, you win them on late round sleeper picks.
There you go. Look at this. We're moving.
Rookies that you might not know. Bam, the Big Lambuski's going to deliver the mail.
Other thing coming up this week, which we recorded it already, and I am so psyched about this guy coming on.
Oh, the Knuckleball Tim Wakefield, baby. Dude. One of my favorite teammates. Yeah. His show is so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. His story's incredible, dude. How he became a knuckleball pitcher.
Yes.
One of the greatest pitchers of, around, but like one of the greatest knuckleball pitchers ever, probably the greatest.
Right.
Obviously, you have the Negro boys, but
the story, there's a whole story between him and his relationship with the Negro brothers. That's amazing.
Incredible.
And we'll call it the first demo in the history of the mayor's office. He showed us exactly how he throws his knuckleball, and it was extremely cool to see, because it's not like how if you picked up a ball and tried to throw a knuckleball, it's not how you would think. He does it very differently. So
it's cool. Don't miss the John Cena story. Me, Tim Wakefield, and John Cena. Just tune in for that story alone.
So good
with the picture.
Yes. Wake brought the picture out. Oh my God. Oh, I forgot about the picture. Oh my God, it's like a memento.
So good, dude.
All right.
So good.
All right. So we got a lot going on, man. And hey, number one, we're praying for Mr. Case. Everybody, please.
Thank you, man. Please pray for Big Jim Casey. Prayers go out to him. Dad, let's go. Keep working. My dad's a fighter, so he's gonna fight his ass off.
Awesome.
So.
Good.
All right, man. Love you, Chinchy.
Love you, buddy.
Thank you, brother. All right, man. Everyone out there too. Keep listening. Glad we got the Funbag out. Also, Lambuski, if you're an NFL guy, or if you just want to be entertained, tune into the Big Lambuski. It's great. And Tim Wakefield this week. Let's get it, man. Love you, Chinch.
Love you, buddy.
This freaking fly won't stop. It's freaking been flying by my face. I think it's like a fruit fly or something. I don't know what the hell's
What, you got a banana under the bed or something?
Yeah, I think there's a couple bananas over there or something.
All right, bro. See you next week.
All right, bro. See you, Chinchy.